Hey guys, I'm Callum.
And I'm Braindead. Today we're going to be showing you how to use the state machine. Now the first step is to go to your backpack that is accessed to on your watch right here. Click it, and then click Use on your maker pen. Once you did that, your maker pen will pop up right here. You want to grab it, and there's your maker pen. Now once you've took out your maker pen, you want to configure this chip right here, and then go to Edit Roll. Here you'll see all these options. You want to click on Can Fly? Yes. Now you'll be able to fly. But since I'm in a template room, this one says Lounge. You want to look for a chip that's called Everyone. Now what you want to do is pull up your maker pen and go to Palette.
So the next step is to go to Gadgets, go to Other Chips, go to the next page, and press State Machine. So, after this, you're going to want to get out a state. You can find it in your palette next to the state machine. Once you've done that, you're going to want to spawn one in and get the wire tool and wire it to the state machine.
Now the second way to get a state is to go to your maker pen, pull it up, click Select the state machine, go on Options, and Add State.
Alright, so the next part would be spawning in another state machine. Then you get the wire tool, you select the first state machine and hold it until you release the trigger onto the second state machine. And as you can see by this arrow, the signal is being transmitted from this state machine to this state machine, showing how this one is a bright white in the center, unlike this one which is a darker grey. On a state, there are 3 pins: a red pin, a green pin, and a blue pin. The red pin is on enter. This will release a signal as soon as it enters this state. A green pin is in state and will release a signal as long as the signal, which is this white glow in the center, is being inside the state. This will release a signal of 1 for all of this, and on exit releases a signal when it exits this state. The next thing to mention is the activate section, which is this small white pin in the center of these 2 states. Let me extend this out so you can see it. It's easier. As you can see, this right here is actually able to have signal emitted into it. So basically, when I have this wired up to the activate pin, if this signal, which is the white glow, is here, when I put my hand here, it will send the signal to here, activating the on enter in state, and once it finally goes back to this state, it will release a signal on exit. So let me show you. As you can see, the signal is staying here, but when I press this, it goes back and then back there. An easy way of fixing it so it doesn't instantly teleport back is by wiring it to the trigger volume again. When I do this, it will release and go into here. When I do it again, it will go back to this state. Now, you can also configure these and change other settings. Now, if you don't want a trigger volume to change states, what you can do is delete the trigger volume and change it so that it has a certain amount of time it stays inside the state. You can do this by configuring state and changing it to 5 seconds. I've done this with both of these states, therefore it is now only going to change state after 5 seconds. Also, another thing when configuring a state is it shows value 1, value 2, and value 3. These are all to release signal to the state machine. When it's in value 1, you can configure it a certain time, and if it's releasing, let's say, a signal of 5, if you configure it to 5, for example, or 1, it will release a signal of 1 into value 1 on the state machine. This works with every single state inside the gadget, depending on how many you want, and can help you with certain things such as making a working gun. So one of the last things I'm going to show you is how to use the enable pin and the reset pin. The enable pin is always set to 0, but if so, then it's always activated. Now, this can be changed if you were to spawn in something which sends out a signal, such as a trigger volume, and then attach one of these pins, such as total currently inside zone, to enable, and this is no longer going to switch between each state. Now, if I put my hand inside this, it will now start back up again. Now, what you can also do is once you have it on a separate state, if you don't want it to be on the state or you want it to change back to the original state, you can have it so it resets. I'm going to have it wired to when exiting zone. So now it's going to activate, go to this here, and go back to this original state, and then when I release, it will go back to the state and completely reset the state machine. Now this will last another 2 seconds. Go back here, I release, and it instantly goes back. So the last things I'm going to show you is the time in state and the on change. So, starting with time in state, this counts up in milliseconds. So, for example, each state here lasts 2 seconds. So, this will count up until 2000, and then it will go back to 0 and reset. It will keep doing this and will count how long is in each state in milliseconds. Whereas the on change, this will last about a couple milliseconds maybe, and will release a signal of 1 when it changes state. That means as soon as this changes state, if it releases a signal, it can lead to other things such as making a working gun and stuff like that. This just makes it a bit easier to do. And here is an example of what state machines can be used for. We have 2 states, which I showed you previously, a stage light, and the state machine itself. I have it so the first state machine sends out a signal of 100 to value 1, which is connected to the intensity of our stage light. And then place the in state to the on-off pin, and this means it will turn on when inside this state for 5 seconds, and then turn off when the signal stops. It is also at an intensity of 100, as I configured this, so value 1 releases a signal of 100. We would like to thank you guys so much for watching, and we hope to see you in the next video.
Also, consider subscribing and liking the video because it helps out a lot. Anyways, see you. Now, once you configure a state, you'll see this menu. You can see minimum time in state. I don't know what the f that